Hello and welcome back to JW's Dugout. John here, and we made it, folks. We're at the All-Star break. I gotta say, I really enjoyed watching the All-Star game. I was happy to see the National League pull it off finally, even if it was in rather unconventional fashion. It kind of felt like watching an Atlanta Braves game this year. NL opens up a 6-0 lead and then completely blows it. Definitely rings a bell. I'm not quite sure yet how I feel about the makeshift home run derby to determine the outcome of the game, but nonetheless, I was happy to see the NL win. It was, really good to see Truist Park on the national stage in my adopted home of Atlanta now that we're down here. I particularly loved the Hank Aaron tribute that they did around the 7th inning. I thought that was very classy. What I didn't love, though, if I'm being honest, is Monday night's home run derby. And it's really the same gripe that I've had for the last couple of years, however many years it's been. I really, 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 really miss the days of the conventional home run derby, where you could actually see the trajectory of the ball connecting with the bat, landing in the stands without having to keep up with this rapid pace of swings and multiple camera angles, and you can't really tell where the ball is, and they're already swinging while the next ball is, already in the air, and it's just kind of all over the place, and it's kind of unappealing. I'm still gonna watch it, of course, because I am a baseball enthusiast and I love it, but it's just lost a little bit of its luster, and I don't know if you guys feel the same. But regardless, I'll get off my soapbox for now, and I want to get to the heart of this video. I want to start this video off by asking you all a question. How do you like your Hall of Fame autos? Do you like your Hall of Fame autos on cards, like this Topps 5-star Derek Jeter auto? Do you prefer them on, sorry, I've got a stack of stuff here. Do you prefer them on Perez Steel, like the Sandy Koufax auto? Maybe you like them on baseballs. How about this one here? Mr. Marvin Miller. I love this one. Perhaps you like, let's see, how about a cut signature? Casey Stengel. Maybe you enjoy him more on your conventional baseball card with a little memorabilia. This Tom Seaver jersey auto from, you guys know, my favorite set of all time. 2001 Upper Deck Hall of Famers. I like them all, if I'm being honest. But, I do have a strange affinity for index cards. I know that's kind of weird to some, but to me, there's something convenient about them. It gives, or gave if the player's passed on, the opportunity to sign his autograph on a blank canvas, if you will, to offer up their John Hancock, which, it typically results in a much bolder signature and a bigger signature than what you would have on a card, even though I love this, don't get me wrong. And at times, if you're lucky enough, you get an inscription, like on this Nellie Fox. Best wishes, Nellie Fox. So I know it's like to each his own, but there are obvious drawbacks when it comes to index cards. And we're in the business of collecting for the sake of an image. That's what's on a baseball card. And obviously, when it comes to index cards, there's much to be desired. Which also leads me to another question that I want to bring up. Do any of you guys who do collect autos on index cards or cuts, do you display them a certain way? I really want to get down to this because, for instance, this Ernie Lombardi that I showed, on the back of it, I've got his blank Hall of Fame postcard. And I really thought about this. I'm like, is that the way to go with these index cards in terms of providing some substance to the autograph? You get your background story on the plaque. It might be the way to go. Display these separately, have the auto nearby. I don't know. It could be something that I do in the future. Make a big purchase of blank Hall of Fame, non-autoed Hall of Fame plaque cards on the Hall of Fame store, and I don't know, maybe put some shelves up here and find a way to display them rather than have a stack of postcards, graded postcards. But regardless, I want to get to the meat of this video, and really that is my Hall of Fame autos on index cards. And it's part of my greater showcase of my Hall of Fame auto run. Currently, as I mentioned in my last video, I'm at 58% of all Major League Baseball Hall of Famers, so that's 204 in total. So why don't we flip the camera around and I'll show you what I have as far as index cards, and then moving forward, my next video is going to start the series of specific Hall of Fame classes, and I'll show off my autos from each of those classes. So let's swing the camera around and take a look at some autos. All right, guys, so before we get started in showcasing the index cards, obviously you can see my background here on my desk is a little bit different. Decided to upgrade with a nice little branded mat to make, just the background as I'm showcasing cards a little bit more attractive. So hopefully you guys like the new touch to the videos. But yeah, let's get into it. So there's really no order to my madness here, but I have 31 Hall of Fame autos that are on index cards, and we'll just kind of fly through these. I'll provide a little bit of background on the player, and we'll just kind of go from there. So the first one that we'll start off with is the one that I actually show in the thumbnail of this video, and that is Zach Wheat. And Zach Wheat, I've always loved his auto. Wheat is obviously the Brooklyn great, 1959 inductee, wonderful hitter, career .317 hitter. He was the 1918 NL batting champ, and just one of the best. All right, we've got Nellie Fox, which I showed off a little bit earlier, one of the greatest second basemen of all time. Kind of somewhat of a tough signature in terms of cost. You'd kind of be surprised, but a lot of that probably has to do with the fact that he passed away very young. He was 47, passed away from cancer in 1965. So he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 97, more than 2,600 career hits, and just a fantastic player. All right, I know I already showed Ernie Lombardi, but my favorite thing about Lombardi is probably the fact that he is often labeled as the slowest man to ever play Major League Baseball. Well, he was an 8-time All-Star, NL MVP in 1938, played the bulk of his career with the Reds, and ran as if he had a piano on his back. Kind of like me. Hey guys, I did play high school baseball. I just wasn't necessarily a speed demon. All right, next up we have another nice one, Richie Ashburn. And this is another one where I mentioned the inscriptions, best wishes, Richie Ashburn. 1995 inductee, 6-time All-Star, 2-time NL batting champ. Just a wonderful player. Got Sparky Anderson. Nice big auto here. As he's known to do, it kind of curves off. You can see most of these are blank backs. Some of them will have some details about the player. It just really depends. But this is a nice one here. Sparky, of course, he was inducted in 2000. Nearly 2,200 wins, 3-time World Series champ, of course, with the Big Red Machine. And the 1984 Tigers as well. Next up in blue index card is Leo the Lip, Leo DeRocher, inducted in 94, over 2,000 career wins, 4-time World Series champ. My favorite thing is probably the fact that he ranks third all-time in ejections behind John McGraw and you know who, my guy Bobby Cox. All right, next up, Joe Cronin, 1956 inductee, Red Sox great, 7-time All-Star. Not the greatest auto on this. I might upgrade this in the future. It's a little faint in certain spots, but happy to add this one. Got 1971 inductee, Rube Marquard. A guy Bill James claims is the worst starting pitcher in the Hall of Fame. He was voted in by the Veterans Committee. Won over 200 games, 3.08 ERA, and he tossed a no-hitter in 1915. Got Stan Kovaleski, 1969 inductee. He had 215 career wins, 2-time AL ERA leader. Probably best known as well for his infamous spitball. Whoops, upside down. We've got Walt Alston, 1983 inductee. Over 2,000 wins as a manager, 4-time World Series champion with the Dodgers, 55, 59, 63, and 65. Freddie Lindstrom, 1976 inductee, New York Giant great, 311 career average, and just really a slick fielding third baseman. Probably one of the more premier fielding third basemen in baseball history. We've got Max Carey. He was inducted in 61. Played with the Pirates and the Brooklyn Robins. Speedy guy. He's actually he's in the top 10 all time in steals, over 730 steals. How about Red Sox great Harry Hooper, 1971 inductee, nearly 2,500 hits, 4-time World Series champ. And, of course, he was a part of the Red Sox World Series champion 1918 team. Obviously... Oops, sorry, guys. All right, we've got Jesse Haynes, who was inducted back in 1970. He's another one of Frankie Frisch's infamous selections, who many claim may not be fully deserving of the honor. He won over 200 games. He was a 3-time World Series champ with, the Cardinals, the Gas House Gang teams. But, 210 career wins, 3.64 ERA, less than 1,000 strikeouts. Not necessarily the greatest resume, but he's still in. He's a Hall of Famer. How about High Pockets Kelly, George L. Kelly? Played for a number of teams, most notably the Giants. Hit just a shade under 300 for his lifetime average. 2-time World Series champ, NL home run leader in 21 and 23, or in 21 rather, with 23. Sorry, I was just looking at some of the notes I have here. And then he's also part of another famous selection when Frisch was part of the Veterans Committee. He loved his former Cardinals and Giants. All right. So next one's probably actually one of my older signatures, or oldest signatures, and that's George Sisler. Inducted in 1939. St. Louis Browns great. So he's part of the 4th Hall of Fame class. American League MVP in 1922, 2-time AL batting champ, 4-time stolen base leader. And then, younger fans, if you will probably know him best as the name that Ichiro passed in 2004 for most hits in a regular season. Sisler had 257 hits in 1920. All right, we've got the Hebrew Hammer, 1956 inductee Hank Greenberg, Tigers legend, 5-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champ, 2-time AL MVP, 4-time AL home run leader. I mean, the list just goes on. Wonderful player. How about Ducky Medwick, Joe Ducky Medwick, 1968 inductee. Was really happy to pick this one up. This is a Gem Mint 10, so it's a beautiful signature, but also just given the fact that he's the last player to have won the Triple Crown in the National League. Did that back in 1937. 10-time All-Star, 324 lifetime average. Just a great player. Speaking of other greats, how about Lefty Grove, 1947 inductee. 300 career wins on the nose. But, I mean, you want to talk about somebody who's got the credentials. 6-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champ, AL MVP in 1931, 2-time Triple Crown winner in 30 and 31 as a pitcher, 9-time AL ERA leader, if I can talk, 7-time AL strikeout leader. The list just goes on. Just a world-class pitcher. All right, you guys know this guy. Buck O'Neil finally got in 2022. Deservingly so. I mean, I'll just call him a champion in general. He's a champion of baseball, champion of the Negro Leagues, a baseball icon. If you haven't read The Soul of Baseball by Joe Posnanski, I don't know what you're doing. Go to the library, go to Barnes & Noble, go to Amazon, pick it up. One of my all-time favorite books. Amazing stories. Just a legend, Buck O'Neil. All right. Sticking with the Negro Leagues, how about Buck Leonard, 1972 inductee, first baseman of the Homestead Grays, 11-time All-Star, 2-time batting champ. Then we've got Red Ruffing, 1967 inductee, Yankee great, over 270 wins, 6-time All-Star, 6-time World Series champ. He was really premier pitcher for the Yankees for a long period. All right, we've got Ed Roush, inducted in 1962, 2-time NL batting champ in the 1910s, and then a World Series champ in 1919. I believe when he passed away, he was the last remaining player who had played in the 1919 World Series, you know, that tainted World Series. And then we've got the Fordham Flash, Old Flash, Frankie Frisch. And I love the fact that he inscribed it, the Old Flash. These are the kind of things that you get on an index card. You just don't always get on a baseball card. This has been authenticated a number of times. But yeah, was really happy to pick this one up when I did, probably about a year ago. But Frisch was inducted in 47, 316 average, almost 2,900 hits, 3-time All-Star, 4-time World Series champ. And then, of course, he was the NL MVP in 1931. All right, one of the few that I have Beckett authenticated, and that's Bucky Harris, 1975 inductee, 2,100 wins as a manager. We've got Pie Traynor, got in the Hall in 1948. 2-time All-Star, 320 lifetime average, arguably one of the greatest defensive third basemen in history. And then one of my personal favorite autographs, I just love his penmanship. How about Heine Manouche, 1964 inductee, 330 career average, 2,500 hits. Gotta love that penmanship. All right, we're getting toward the end here, guys. I know this is a long video. Another Beckett authenticated that I actually just picked up a few days ago. I was surprised that I didn't have him. This is relatively cheap, but I've been meaning to get it. Leon Day. He was inducted in 1955, 9-time All-Star, NL World Series champ, or Negro Leagues World Series champ. Sorry. Sorry. It's the end of the work day. I just finished up work, so my brain might not be actively working. Really happy to pick this up. I just watched a new doc on, I think it was on Hulu. It's called The League. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but really great history of the Negro Leagues and how it came to be and the downfall. I mean, a lot of the stuff is repeated information, but they had some great interviews. If you get a chance, definitely go and check it out. Okay, we're getting to the end. I promise, guys. We'll speed this up. I won't really talk about Elmer Flick. I just actually picked this up a couple videos ago. You guys can go back to that video if you want to take a look. How about the 5th commissioner of Major League Baseball, inducted in 2008, Bowie Kuhn? All right. And then last, but certainly not least, my favorite auto on index card, and that would be Mr. Satchel Paige, inducted in 1971. If you need his credentials, go look it up. But I mean, really quick summary: 2-time Major League Baseball All-Star, 6-time Negro League All-Star, oldest Major League Baseball player in history. One of the greatest fastballs ever, one of the greatest pitchers ever. The list just goes on. But really, really happy to pick this one up. And that'll do it, guys. I know this was a long video, but I've been meaning to get through and show you guys all my index cards with my Hall of Fame autos. So that's it for now, but definitely more content is coming this week, including tomorrow. I'm going to start my Hall of Fame autos by class series that I mentioned, so watch out for that. Really appreciate you guys stopping by the Dugout and watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know which of these index cards your favorite, how you think I should display them. How do you guys display them if you collect index cards that are autographed? Really interested to hear your point of view and your feedback. All right, we'll catch you next time.